Hey everybody, we're in Southern Illinois and we're going to be talking rice today. Let's get started. We're talking to Blake Gerard.
Yeah, jump in.
That just looks...
Let me clean your seat. There's a little mud in it. Hopefully you don't have your best pants on. It's rice. Okay, we'll go this way. This ditch goes all the way to the river, straight south to the river.
Okay.
And that's what drains these whole bottoms is this ditch. And there's multiple laterals that go east-west.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll drive around that
That's
field.
beautiful.
Mallards. We've hatched a lot of ducks this year because it was so dry. You know, the river was so low.
Yeah.
This was the only water around, and I don't know how many will go around here. This one's a little weedy too. But there's economics to weed control.
Yeah.
And at some point you're like, I've spent enough. That's not gonna harm the yield.
Yeah.
You know, it's eyesore. It's not a seed production field, so screw it. You know. So anyway, along this edge, it's quite a bit more headed. They're starting to tip.
Yeah, it's wild to watch how that seed head just shows up out of the center sheath, right? Like it just starts coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like to see it. It won't be. I mean, it's just getting closer to harvest, and also it's getting a lot closer to a lot lower water usage.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all the running and pumping and keeping greasing power units and all that. So this field has like 5 levees in it. You see the water spilling right there? Can you get a shot of that?
Oh yeah.
So the field slopes that way south, and so we put a levee in, and it holds 2 to 4 inches of water, and then drops down, kind of like a terrace, right? Because of your levee you put in, and that's water moving from this pan to that pan. This pan's a little bit higher than that pan, so you know.
Yeah.
It's just gravity.
It makes absolute sense,
Gravity.
and showing people what you mean. That's the gate we were talking about.
Yeah. So this is a 0 grade field. All these on this side of the road are flat grade fields, and there's that wetland that we can't farm in between, and we use that as water reservoir. And also, believe it or not, we catch crawfish around here regular. So
Really?
it's full of crawfish.
Really?
Yeah. This field on the right.
Believe.
Yeah, I bet you did. I knew you would. This field is sloped pretty steep. It's like on 2/10, so every 100 feet it falls 2/10
From the river this way it's falling, or the other way?
Yeah,
around?
well, it's crowned in the middle, so halfway down it's falling this way, the other half's falling west. But so that's fur irrigated rice. So there's no levees in that. Like if I put levees in it, I have a levee every 100 feet, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a half mile, so that's 26 levees in 80 acres. That's too much.
Yeah.
So you can't really tell that we water that in rows just like you would water beans or corn, whatever. So it's furrow rice. That's a hybrid. It has more tolerance to stress because that occasionally is a stressful environment once in a while. Not all the time, but it can be on the upper end. It is. Down on the bottom end, we're holding a flood on it just like we would normal rice.
There are so many birds. What all kind of birds besides the mallards? Everything.
There's there's shorebirds galore. There are birds here because there's water, you know, and it was even more because before it rained, we got 10 days ago we got like how many inches? 8 inches of rain in about.
It came on out of nowhere.
Yeah. So prior to that, we were extremely dry. This is one of the laterals. There's another one up there that drains to that big ditch that all feeds everything out to the river. So,
I was going to say
so we've got underground that runs from both the surface water pump and from the well water pump. So we'll pick this water up out of the ditch that comes off of our furrow rice down there, with this pump. So I went to Louisiana and looked at a lot of this, the way they're doing pump on, pump off. So I've got that pipe through there. I can open the door on either end and pick that water up and pump it into any of these rice fields. They're all plumbed in.
Oh, nice.
So, so this is where, like, one of our methods of using surface water that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, and so it allows us to use surface water. But then when we're in a flood, these fields all drain to this pump. Yeah. We can pump it off into this ditch. Exactly. In a major flood, it's pump off.
Do you have eagles and stuff in this area?
Tons. They're all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was bitten.
Drove around. I mean, luck of the draw off, you know, but they're all over the place. This one we
just don't want it going to seed.
So bad, right? Because it floods so bad, it's coming out of that theory
of into here.
of controlling your seed bank doesn't work in these bottoms.
Yeah, you know? I would guess not. Because
what weed grows in that is coming out in this in a flood. You know, so
that's pretty much nature in this part of the world.
It is, yeah, that's nature right there. Yeah, see, there's even, if you don't believe it, there's a sign that tells you that, see?
There you go, the wildlife management sign brought to you.
From here south
it's all still
to the river
management.
is all wildlife management area, and it so we'll drain our water in there when we drain. We can drain it out into those canals or those ditches, or we can send it over onto these guys. If we send it over on these guys, then they'll have some teal hunting, you know, in a dry year. Yeah, this is all pollinating right now.
I mean, it's just so nice because you can see the heads coming through. Like you can finally see them. This one, I think, is further along than most of those other fields.
Yeah, it is.
That's pretty.
Yeah, look at that big bird. Lots of those suckers. You know, it's like a blue heron, but it's white. I don't know. It's bigger than an egret. An egret's only about this tall, and these suckers
That's got some wingspan on it.
Yeah, they're huge. So, what are they, white heron? I guess it's a heron. Yeah, it's a heron. It's just not blue. There's always ducks on that you can't see, though.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, that's moving water over to that field, to our left.
How does that work? Is it just a pipe that's coming up and the water's coming over it?
It's a pipe drop. Well, for water control structure, it's pretty freaking awesome. I'll show you. Hang on. You got to clean the slime off so you can pick it up.
Oh my gosh.
That's how you control the water level. Now the whole field's rushing over there, right? It's a rubber gasket here. This, you can have an infinite setting of how deep to set your water. And then you can just, when you drain, you just set that over that pipe, boom. You know what I mean? So if I want to, it's super simple. There's no shovel about it, right? Boom.
And it just sucks it right back in. Wow.
Pretty killer. It beats the hell out of the steel drop box with boards, you know?
Yeah. That's cool.
It's infinite setting. You don't have to like cut a board in half and that sort of thing, you know? Yeah.
Now you're nasty.
I've been nasty all day. So these are crooked levees here, which is, I mean, it doesn't really look any different.
No.
You can't tell from the ground, but from a drone you can see it snakes out through there. And so this is not a graded field.
Well, and early in the rice year you can see it, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can kind of see it winding out through there.
Zooming around a little bit.
So the difference is this field's never been graded to put rice on. It was just naturally this flat. And so, but it gets up here, it gets steeper, and there's a whole lot of levees in this field. You can already see we've come across quite a few levees.
Yeah.
So starting right here, so this is a 70-acre field. So starting right here, from here on up, there's a whole lot more levees.
Straight levees.
So, well, this is the border, and from here on up is furrow. This is furrow rice. So that's the white pipe is the irrigation pipe, and see the little holes poked in it? So
very cool.
The water runs down the rows there, They're crooked right there, but they straighten out right there. So water, we just water it down the row like that, and there's just a little water furrow. And so it's a combination. So when the water gets to
the field goes all the way back to where those foam poles.
It does not. It goes about halfway, and then there's a ditch, and it starts another field. It's all crooked levees.
Okay.
So there's 40 acres of furrow rice here, and so the furrow rice water makes its way over into that crooked rice.
Okay.
Or crooked levee. So it's not run off. It just moves over to the
next field.
To the next pan, yes.
Thanks for checking out our videos. We'd love for you to subscribe, watch some more videos, follow our podcast in general. I'm your host, Janice Ferson.